بسم الله.
Testing. Assalamu alaikum. Coming in loud and clear. Sheikh, you want to test?
Bismillah. نعم.
Okay. Alhamdulillah wa salatu salam ala rasulillah. Mustafa, are we ready? Alhamdulillah wa salatu salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi sallam kathira. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everybody to Quran in Motion. I'm very happy to be with you all tonight. My name is Ammar al-Shukri and this is our Sheikh Ra'ad al-Ruslan. Al-Rosal. Okay, last name's a little bit tricky for me, but it's all right. We'll get through it inshallah. Sheikh Ra'ad, of course, is the Imam of Tajweed Institute, and it is a wonderful project that we'll inshallah ta'ala be discussing a little bit later on as the evening goes. This evening is basically a night with the Quran, and we are actually going to be, as I'm sure you've heard already, it's Poetic Tafseer. And it's something that I hope is actually something pretty novel, and I hope that it's something that you all find benefit in. Reading the translation of the Quran is one thing, however, interacting with some of the meanings of the Quran in a way that's digestible and familiar to everybody, inshallah. And so I can show you better than explain to you. So we're just going to jump right into it, inshallah. And we're going to begin where the Quran begins, which is Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha. So Shaykhna, if you could basically just stop at every verse, including stopping at the isti'adha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Jesus in Mark said, "This sign shall follow the believers, a sign that'll separate the truth from the deceivers. They will cast out devils in the Lord's name." So in reciting God's words, that's what we proclaim every single time, that we seek refuge in Him from Satan, the cursed and outcast. And so we begin.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Allah pronounced A-double-L, exhale with love. Allah, the creator of the earth and the heavens, the one deserving of our love, obedience, and reverence. Who's Ar-Rahman? He's the one who in His mercy is extreme, and so His mercy extends to all places, things, and beings. Take the most wicked individual you can imagine in the land, he's still drowning in the mercy of Ar-Rahman. Take the most wicked individual you can imagine in the land, and he's still drowning in the mercy of Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahim is the one whose mercy goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Alhamd is beautiful praise, with all of its values and levels and all of its ways, not because of any favors bestowed or anything that's owed, but because He is who He is. And so He is the one deserving of that praise. Rabb means the master and sustainer, nourisher, creator, developer, maintainer. And Allah is as such for His divine construction. So praise is the most appropriate introduction to the conversation that will now take place between the master and his slave face to face.
الرحمن الرحيم.
Now, those two names were already explained, right? So that should suffice, but just take note that God's attributes of mercy are both mentioned twice. How the people think the Lord we worship is oppressive and vindictive and restrictive, I don't know. When every day He bestows on us grace, and we don't deserve it though.
مالك يوم الدين.
The master of the day of judgment. And He's the master of the day of judgment in particular, because on that day, no challengers and no competitors. None shall speak. Not even the whisper, the tears of that day will be enough of an inhibitor, for that is the day where the kings fall silent. And the powerful are humbled, and every violent tyrant will be exposed to be but a flesh and bones, and along with all pretenders be humbled to watch the throne.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
You alone do we worship, you alone we seek for aid, and worship is everything that Allah loves for His slaves. And worship is everything that Allah loves for His slaves. Not just the ritual like fasting and charity and prayer, but the habitual, your daily routine down to the very care that you show to your loved ones, or perfecting your work at your job. If your heart is watching Him, can all be part of your worship of God. But the only one deserving of perfect adoration, love, fear, submission is the Almighty above. And when no one is there, He'll be there for you. Call upon Him, He'll take care of you.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Guide us to the straight path. Guide us the straight path, meaning guide us to it and guide us while we're on it so we never lose it. Because the straight path is one, but crooked paths are many. Light is one, and darkness plenty. Righteousness is to recognize that this is your most oft-repeated request. For the scholar and his page, the ignorant and the sage, and everyone in between is constantly in need of guidance to their dying breath. They know the dangers of self-delusion, so they fear it so. Self-righteousness is to think yourself guided from years ago.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
The path of those you've blessed from before, the prophets and the righteous and more, the truthful and those who bore witness to the truth by giving their lives in an instant. Not the path of those who earned your anger or those who went astray, earned your anger by knowing the truth and rejecting it, or going astray by never knowing it at all, never detecting it. What you've just heard recited are the most oft-repeated words in human history. There's no passage, no hymn, no prayer that's spoken more frequently on more lips, nor memorized in more hearts than this. 17 times a day, every time that we pray, this is what we say. This is what we say. Al-Fatiha.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ameen. Sheikh Ra'ad, it's like we're performing in a park filled with statues. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are looking angry at us. Do I owe you money or something? Ahlan wa sahlan, sabah al khair. Okay, so let me show you guys how to respond to poetry. We have a couple of styles, and Quran recitation for that matter. So we have Muslim style. Normally when you see something that you like, I know that you guys seem to think that you should just stare really hardly at it to show how much you like it. Normally there's something that's done like Allahu Akbar or MashaAllah or something like that. These types of things are normally done outside of ROIC. Okay? The other way is what I like to call American style. For poetry, what you do is you do a finger snap. So try that out. The finger snap. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is what I like to call Egyptian style. Any Egyptians here? Okay, that's probably why. So Egyptian style, oh, okay, Egypt showed up. So Egyptian style is that when you hear something that you like, you say, Allah, Allah. So try that out. Allah, Allah, okay? So that's Egyptian style. And then number 4, and this was one that I learned recently, but I was showing people how to respond and stuff. And one brother said to me, he said, what about Pakistani style? So I said, what is Pakistani style? And he went like this and he said, Vah Vah. So try this one out. Go ahead. Vah Vah. Okay, very good. Okay. So no more hard stares, please. One of the 4. One of these 4 are perfectly fine. Okay, so we're going to move on, inshallah ta'ala, with regards to the Mus'haf, and let's go to the greatest verse of the Quran, and that is Ayat Al-Kursi.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم.
Allah is the default name for God. Some said it means the one who is worshipped, or the one who is loved, or the one who bewilders all. In any case, He's the one that you should call. And He's the only one who's worshipped. I mean, there are many that are worshipped if you look around you, but He's the only one who deserves to. Al-Hayy is the ever-living. And the meaning that that name sends is that Allah is the only one, not your family and not your friends, who's with you on your journey from the beginning until it ends. And so He's the only one the heart of a believer should depend on. Al-Qayyum is the maintainer of every soul. Billions of creatures all over the globe, heavens and galaxies in another zone and creation beyond that we just don't know.
لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم.
Neither drowsiness overtakes Him nor sleep. Now this part of the verse is an emphasis to the greatness of His maintenance. Sin is a laziness between sleep and wakefulness, or a drowsiness. And the perfection of His life is another point being stressed, because sleep is death's brother.
لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض.
To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth. And this part reframes everything we think we own. Our health, wealth, family, every possession we've ever known, it all belongs to Allah, so it returns to Him in fact. And so if there's anything that you should want, He's the one that you should ask.
من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
And who can dare to intercede or even dare to speak in front of God without permission on the day of great submission, when phony peers have hearts filled with fear and eyes of humbled vision?
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم.
He knows everything that has happened and what tomorrow's sun will bring, and everything that didn't happen, if it did, the outcome of everything.
ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
He knows everything that has occurred and what tomorrow's sun will bring, and everything that didn't happen, if it did, the outcome of everything. Billions of daily choices affecting our collective destiny, but all we know is what He taught us, just a drop taken from a sea.
وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما.
His kursi extends over the heavens and earth, and their preservation tires Him not. Some said al-kursi is His knowledge. Others said it's where His feet are placed. In any case, it encompasses everything we know of space. And how mighty is our God when all of this is under His power, and He maintains it every second, every minute, and every hour, and this causes Him no fatigue, no rest, no breaks, no sleep, no assistance needed. He maintains it all perfectly, and
وهو العلي العظيم.
And this verse ends on a beautiful basis. No matter how high anyone gets, Allah is still higher, and no matter how great, Allah is still the greatest. Allah, Allah, MashaAllah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Ra'ad. Well, I had wanted to ask you, Sheikh, a question. I know that you've moved to Houston basically for a year now.
Yes.
It's been a year since you founded Tajweed Institute. And Sheikh, you're a teacher of Quran. I'm sure you've taught a great number of students over the years. How long have you been teaching Quran?
Many years. I can't.
Can't count them?
I can't count them. Yeah, mashallah. I started teaching Quran in Medina when I was studying in Islamic University.
Yes.
And then in Jordan, and then in the US, around 15 years.
15 years, mashallah. So that's a large number of students. What have you found to be, or what do you advise? The month of the Quran is coming up very, very soon for us. Ramadan is around the corner. What should our relationship with the Quran be?
You know, first of all, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, Sheikh Ammar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you for coming and listening.
Ameen.
Subhanallah, Sheikh, you know, when we define our relationship with anything, we should look at the value or the why this relationship should be strong with such and such. When it comes to the Quran, if I know that the Quran is the manhaj, is the method, is my resource as a Muslim, when I know, the Quran is the comfort that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in our heart, then I should, take advantage from that and increase my relationship with the Quran. And when I say my relationship with the Quran, I mean by that, by reciting the Quran, by memorizing the Quran, if I can memorize anything from the Quran, not necessarily to, the entire Quran. Understanding the Quran, applying the Quran. When Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha was asked, how was the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam? One of the narrations, he was as a Quran walking on earth. كان قرآنا يمشي على الأرض. So if we understand, all these things, we understand or we realize how much it's very important for us to strengthen our relationship with the Quran.
So what does that mean? Do I have to recite it every day?
You should. By the way, the ulama, maybe I don't want, you to be scared. The ulama said, if you don't recite the Quran every day, then you are mistaken. Then it is like a sin that you don't recite the Quran. And by the way, ikhwani, if we recite the Quran or know one of the ayahs, subhanallah, or the Prophet ﷺ will complain about, the Muslims who do not have relationship with the Quran in the day of judgment. وقال الرسول يا ربي إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. So, Ya Allah, my ummah, my people, some of my ummah, they just left the Quran. And by lifting the Quran, as I said, some of us do not recite the Quran, some of us, do not, even when we recite, we don't understand the Quran. The ulama, Shaykh said, every aspect is ibadah. The reciting is ibadah. Understanding the Quran is ibadah. Reading the Quran, applying the Quran, looking to the Quran, listening to the Quran, all these things, ibadah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So having some sort of daily relationship with the Quran, yes, however that manifests itself. Yes. Very beautiful. Jazakallah khair. So let's keep going here. We are now at Surah Al-Qadr, coming close to Ramadan. We kind of fast forwarded through the Mus'haf. But, Jazakallah khair.
On the house, lemonade is on the house in the corner here, okay?
Lemonade is on the house. MashaAllah. Yes, Bismillah. As I sip on my lemonade, you're free to start, yes.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna أنزلناه في ليلة القدر
We set the Quran down during the night of decree. Now, a curious intellect might ask, why does Allah say we? The we could be the royal pronoun indicating greatness or majesty, or it could be actions that involve the angels. We bring down the rain. We bring the revelation. We are closer to the soul of the son of Adam in their moments of death. And the angels bring down rain, and the angels bring the revelation, and they take the soul of the son of Adam with no hesitation. But something that we'll find in the Quran with certainty is that whenever the command comes to worship, it is always me. In any case, Allah brought down the Quran from Al-Lawh al-Mahfuz, the guarded tablet, to the lowest heaven on the night of power.
وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ.
And what will let you know what Al-Qadr means? What will let you know what Al-Qadr means? Some said Al-Qadr means restricted because of the presence of the angels is so extreme. Some said Al-Qadr means power. And some said Al-Qadr means destiny and decree.
لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ.
The night of power is better than 1,000 months. For we are an ummah whose lifespans are made short, so we're given seasons of goodness as a means of support, and the nights are enlivened with recitation and prayer, angels crowding the earth, peace and serenity in the air.
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر.
The angels and the Spirit descend therein by permission of their Lord for every matter. So what night is Laylatul Qadr for the seeker then? The companions differed as to when. Ibn Abbas said the 23rd or the 27th. Ubay said the 27th certainly. The 21st was the position of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. And one way to combine between all of these positions, it appears, is that Laylatul Qadr is different nights on different years. Salam.
سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
And it is a night filled with the descent of angels and the devils being chained and their spawn, and it is a peace unbroken until the night breaks with dawn.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
MashaAllah. Okay, I actually forgot we have a hashtag here. It's probably trending by now, but the hashtag is on the bottom here, Quran in Motion. I have a gift for, it's very simple. I have a gift for basically whoever ends up having the top tweet for tonight. It's as simple as that. As long as your top tweet doesn't involve anything that is going to hurt my feelings. Other than that, we should be good to go. So this next surah is a surah that actually has an introduction. So let me just read for you the introduction, and then the Shaykh is going to recite. But it goes, he was a prophet, but he was human too, with a desire for children and what they provide of joy and the continuation of your legacy. That's why we name our children after our parents, that they see in them the continuation of their name. And though he was a prophet, he wasn't immune. And in a society where death comes soon, your sons were the strengthening of your frame, solidifying your name. They mocked him because he was without. And though he was a prophet, he was human too. And so Allah revealed to him a surah exclusively for him, letting him know all of the things that he was gifted, that his heart be put at ease and that his spirits be lifted.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر.
We have given you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Al-Kawthar is a pool that the Ummah of Muhammad will drink from on the Day of Judgment, and whoever drinks from it will never feel thirsty again. And so the people of paradise will never drink out of thirst, it will always be out of pure bliss. Now some said Al-Kawthar is prophethood, or Al-Kawthar is the Quran, or Al-Kawthar is Islam, the greatness of his nation, their numbers and population. And some said that all of this could be understood, that Al-Kawthar is simply great good. And great good is exactly what the Prophet was given. The increasing of his remembrance, his sins that were forgiven, the blessed night of power, mankind being his mission, the entire earth a place of prayer. Concise, expressive diction.
فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ.
So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. And when God gives you blessings, and those blessings come from everywhere, then the tongue should speak gratitude, the heart bow down in prayer.
إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ.
Those who hate you will be cut off. They laughed and mocked the Prophet. They said he has no sons, that he will be cut off and his legacy would come undone. But Allah makes them a promise that they who meet him with hate, they're the ones who will be cut off. They're the ones who will meet that fate. So where's Al-As ibn Wa'il? Where's Abu Jahl? Where's Al-Walid? Their own sons who they were raising and preparing to succeed, them turned around and then the Prophet believed. So they were the ones who were cut off. They're the misfortunate indeed. And anyone who follows in insulting the Prophet of any race, of any place, of any time, of any creed, will follow them into history's abyss. That is a promise of God, destined and decreed.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
Sheikh, we got to give you a little bit of a break, but one question that comes up a lot, so you're saying everybody has to have a relationship with the Quran. One of the biggest obstacles is if I can't read the Quran, I can't recite it. What advice do you have for somebody who can't recite the Quran?
والله أخي يعني
What if also, I'm sorry, but what if a person just didn't learn it as a child? They didn't grow up learning the Quran, and so they literally, they don't either know how to recite the Quran, period, or they don't recite it easily at all.
You know, this question, the Prophet ﷺ answered it in one of the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, the skilled one in Quran, their level will be in the level of the angels. Al-Mahiru fil Quran ma'a as-safarat al-kiram al-barara. This is the first part. Now the second part about your question, وَالَّذِي يَتَتَعْتَعُ فِيهِ. And those who are struggling when they recite the Quran, whether they don't know, you know, the alphabets properly, how to pronunciate the, you know, the letters in the proper way, they are struggling, or they cannot, you know, match or connect the letters, or fluently reading the Quran. وَالَّذِي يَتَتَعْتَعُ بِهِ فَلَهُ أَجْرًا. They have two rewards, subhanallah. So when you are struggling with reading Quran, you have two rewards. Number one, the reward of reading by itself. The second reward is for you trying, learning and reading the Quran. So I don't know how to recite the Quran. Akhi, try your best. Try your best to learn. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, nowadays we have many ways, you know, to learn how to recite the Quran. As I said earlier,
You have a channel, correct?
I have a channel, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
What's the name of the channel? Just let everybody know.
Tajweed Institute. And one of the things I focus in this channel, which is how to recite the Quran in the proper way. How to recite the Quran in the proper way. So I go over the ayah, letter by letter, the ahkam, the rules of the tajweed, and you should just pause and repeat after me, in order to recite it in the proper way. What if you cannot at all? You, subhanallah, yani, ya akhi, listening to the Quran. One of the stories, Sheikh, beautiful stories. One of the old men in Jordan, he didn't learn how to read. Subhanallah, do you know what he used to do? He used to finish the Quran. He doesn't know how to read, but he used to finish the Quran in the month once. How?
Oh.
Listen to the Quran and just he point at the Quran like this. He doesn't know what he listening, where is the word? Is the word matching or not? But he did his effort.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Allah.
So he's just following along kind of, as best as he can, as he's listening to the entire Quran.
Yep.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim and all of that, and you would expect from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala incredible acceptance and grace.
Exactly. Allah.
Beautiful. Let us inshallah go to a surah that is equal to a third of the Quran, Surah Al-Ikhlas.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد.
Say Allah is one. Hold on, no, I'm just trying to remember what the verse is. This is the part where you guys go, you got it, you got it. See what I'm saying?
الله الصمد.
I'm still trying to remember the first one. Say Allah is one. Allah is one. Okay. There are 5 chapters of the Quran that with the word say begin. Al-Falaq, Ikhlas, Nas, Al-Kafirun, and how about, I call you guys slipping. Hold on. There are 5 chapters of the Quran that with the word say begin. Al-Falaq, Ikhlas, Nas, Al-Kafirun, and Al-Jinn. Now the word say decrees the Prophet upon whom be peace did it alter the revelation received, not in the least, and an ahad in description exceeds, but to be brief, the one and only with uniqueness indeed that doesn't cease.
Allahu Samad.
Allah is a Samad. A Samad is the master who none can speak after, and the one you ask for in need and disaster. Yet he needs no one, no partners and no son. No internal organs, no nutrition is needed, it's not a notion.
Lam yalid wa lam yulad.
He begets not, nor was he begotten. And the meaning of begotten has long been forgotten. But it means he has no children and no one has ever had him. And the Quran negates children first before parents, even though the circle of life is obviously oppositely apparent. Because most tracks to shirk that shaitan brings is by associating to Allah not parents, but offspring.
وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ.
And there is nothing like him. He has no partners, no equals, no updates, no sequels, no angels, no people. To think so is illegal, to think so is lethal. To all those who are seeking God, He alone is the one to be feared and sought. He alone is the one to be revered and awed. He alone is the one, and He loves the odd.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Allah, Allah, Jazakallah khair. When I'm alone, all by myself, and no one is around, that's how I recite. Unfortunately, as soon as somebody comes into my vicinity, I sound like the way you guys have heard me recite. But when I'm alone, it's crazy. All right? Yes, mashallah. It is crazy, huh? So, as-samad, As-Samad is a beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm actually tomorrow, we'll be spending all day going over names of Allah here in this masjid. For anyone who's interested, feel free to join us. It's open registration. Just come. We'll be going over maybe 20 different names of Allah. But As-Samad, I say, is the master who none can speak after, and the one you ask for in need and disaster. Yet he needs no one, no partners and no son, no internal organs. Ibn Abbas, he says, As-Samad is the one who has no internal organs. Can anybody tell me what that means? Internal organs. What is he saying when he says that he has no joth, no internal organs? He what?
He's independent of internal organs. Doesn't need the
Very good. Exactly that. That Allah is independent of need. I have a heart because I need a heart. I have lungs because I need lungs. I need the function of these organs. And so when he's saying that, As-Samad, one of the meanings, that's why As-Samad is translated, you'll find it translating as two things. Number one is the eternal refuge. But if you opened up another Mus'haf, I guarantee you'll find it translated as the self-sufficient. Where do they get the self-sufficient from? From this concept, that Allah has no internal organs. As the Sahaba said. As for the meaning of the eternal refuge, that's one of the meanings of As-Samad, because he's the one, يَصْمُدُ إِلَيْهِ الْخَلَائِقِ. He's the one who everyone escalates their affairs to in their needs. So it's a beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are now going to go to two beautiful surahs that conclude the Mus'haf, of course. And that is Surah Al-Falaq.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak. Al-Falaq and Al-Nas are two chapters where we're instructed by the Divine to come to a safe place, a safe space where He assigns us protection from the evil of everything.
من شر ما خلق.
From the evil of that which He created. Protection from the evil of everything. The evil of every human, the evil of every jinn, the evil of every creature, the evil of every sin. Don't forget about all of the evil that lies within, and when you recite these words, you come under the protection of the King.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
And from the evil of darkness when it settles. Al-Ghasiq is the night. The majority of scholars say, because under the cover of night is when evil comes out to play, and the wicked come out to pray, and the righteous resign to pray. So we seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak and light from the evil and the darkness of the night.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد.
And from the evil of the blowers in knots. Now the practice of magic long ago was rightly banned. I'm talking real magic, not illusions or sleight of hand. Because magic was described by the Prophet ﷺ as a mortal sin. Because real magic in its essence involves the worship of the jinn.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
And from the evil of an envier when he envies. Now what could describe to you how vile a sin envy is? What if I told you that it was the first sin ever created in heaven? What if I told you it was the first sin ever committed in heaven, making shaitan's arrogance to flare and for him to even dare to reject a commandment? Or what if I told you it was the first sin committed on earth, making Qabil kill his brother, turning a family into a fraction? Now envy, defined, is pretty precise. It's not that you see something someone has and you wish to have it too. It's that you see a blessing someone has and you wish that blessing was removed. You wish they didn't have that money, wish they didn't have that house, wish their kids weren't so special, wish they didn't have that spouse, wish they didn't have those followers on that Instagram account. And like fire burns wood, envy burns good deeds. And it creates animosity amongst those who believe. The envier creates discord, hatred, and friction. They harm those who they envy, but they see themselves the victim. Now how can envy be removed from a heart that is diseased? Firstly, it's to recognize that rizq is something that was decided and decreed long before we entered into this earthly abode. And secondly, when your heart whispers to you to envy, just say no. Don't ask Allah for them to have less. Ask Allah to increase their share, and shaitan will stop his whispers once he realizes that they'll only result in your prayer.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Very good. Thank you very much. This surah, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas, like we mentioned, these two are surahs where you recite them to seek refuge, protection from the evil that was described. Something beautiful that I love about this surah is this concept of وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of energy worrying about hasad, being obsessed about hasad. But one of the ways that you remove hasad from yourself, inflicting it on other people, is what I mentioned in the poem, which is every time you feel that flare, that you make dua for that person. Oh Allah, increase their wealth. Oh Allah, increase their health. Oh Allah, increase their popularity, their reputation, whatever it is, their beauty, right? And that way shaitan will stop casting those thoughts into your heart and mind. But what if you fear hasad? What if you're the one who's like, I'm worried that people are going to send hasad my way because of how large I'm living and how great my life is? One way, hasad, we said, is tamanni zawal al-ni'mah. It's that you're worried, or hasad is that when someone wishes that your blessings are removed. But if you show gratitude, what happens to your blessings? They get increased. And so shukr is a fortress that protects a person from hasad. Because if you are grateful, Allah promises that He will increase. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with regards to that. And let's inshallah ta'ala recite our last surah, Shaykhna. Surah Al-Nas.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الناس.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. Rabb is the master, sustainer, nourisher, creator, developer, maintainer, and the one who takes a person from one stage to the next.
ملك الناس.
The king of mankind. And Allah's kingship is unlike any other. It is a reign without end.
إله الناس.
The deity of mankind. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your Lord and King, then He is the only one worthy of your heart and your being, your fear, love, hope, your worship, and your submission, and the humbling of your heart, your hearing, and your vision.
من شر الوسواس الخناس.
From the evil of the retreating whisperer. Now keep in mind that in the last surah we sought refuge in 3 attributes of God. No. Keep in mind that in the last surah we sought refuge in 1 attribute of God from 4 of His creation. We sought refuge in the Lord of daybreak from the evil of that which He created, from the evil of darkness, from the evil of magic, and the evil of envy. But in Surah Al-Nas we seek refuge in 3 attributes of God from the evil of 1. The whisperer, the accursed, the devil, the very worst enemy of mankind. In the Quran we're warned so many times to take him as an enemy. And to take him as an enemy means to be prepared for war, and to know the outcome of each battle waged, and to be keeping score, knowing that to be occupied daily by this task at hand, knowing that he won't rest until you destroy to the last man. Al-Khannas means the retreating whisperer, because he whispers into your heart and stays at that post, but if you remember the name of God, he's gone, he's ghost.
الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس.
The one who whispers in the breasts of mankind. Shaitan flows in our veins like the flowing of blood, constantly whispering and inviting, encouraging and inciting. But his whispers for the believer are a metric that they can use, because he only whispers to your heart things that you might approve. I mean, he wouldn't whisper murder to someone who had never heard a mouse. And he wouldn't whisper drugs to someone if that's not what they're about. He only whispers to your heart things that may be in your realm of action, where he may gain some traction and get a positive reaction. And so if he's whispering to your heart major things, then you should be having alarms of danger ring.
من الجنة والناس.
From among the jinn and mankind. Some jinn are from the devils. Some devils are from the jinn. Some devils are from the jinn, and some are from the human race. Might be from your own town, your own city, your own place, might speak your own tongue like you're staring into your own face. Just remember that, lest you fall for their dark embrace.
Awesome. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Allahu Akbar. Okay, with that we conclude, alhamdulillah, on time. Jazakumullah khair, everybody, for being a part of this evening. A couple of things just to tidy up, inshallah. Number one, Sheikh Ra'ad, thank you very much for joining us and blessing us with this wonderful recitation.
My pleasure.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and bless your community. And welcome officially to the city of Houston. So a couple of things, Sheikh. What's your Ramadan program? Where can people find you? You said Tajweed Institute. Where is Tajweed Institute for those who aren't familiar?
So Tajweed Institute, brothers and sisters, located at the Westheimer with 1464. Just, if you put Google it, Tajweed Institute, it's easy to find it, inshallah. Our schedule in Ramadan, I believe, Sheikh, Taraweeh should be 8 rak'ahs.
MashaAllah.
You can do whatever you want. But in that way, to mix some other things with the Taraweeh.
You're leading Taraweeh the entire month?
The entire month, okay. Yes. We pray after Isha 4 rak'ahs, and then we stop. We have a short khatira, and after that another 4 rak'ahs, and then competition. Every Ramadan we do competition, and then the witr with the dua. In the 10 awakhir we have special program, inshallah.
Khalas, very good. So look out for Sheikh Ra'ad, inshallah. Feel free to visit also Tajweed Institute. Are there any programs happening in between then and there, where anything that you're doing there until Ramadan?
Inshallah.
Anything on the weekends or anything?
Yeah.
If a person were to go look for you, like
every Friday we have our halaqa. Now the topic is pray as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every month we have one family night, and then we have some picnics, inshallah, 2 picnics coming, inshallah, and some here and there, guest speakers, inshallah. We'll announce about it, inshallah. Our website tajweedusa.org, but you can see all our programs in our Facebook page, inshallah, Tajweed Institute.
Jameel. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. As far as me, I have tomorrow, inshallah, this program here. Aywa.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Why me? Why me? He's more handsome. Believe me.
I think she chose. Okay. Guys. Allahumma
اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد.
sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Wonderful. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So for those of you who are available tomorrow, we are going over the names of Allah, inshallah, here in this masjid, 10 a.m. inshallah to 7 p.m. We're going to be going over, I said, 20 some odd names, inshallah ta'ala. Other than that, this right here is a book comprised of some of my poems. It doesn't have all of this that we've done over tonight. This is another completely random collection of poems, but I have them outside, inshallah, for those who would be looking or interested in acquiring a book of poems. And it does have the Surah Al-Fatiha poem, because that's my oldest version. But the other ones, hopefully, I hope to release a book called Quran in Motion with these tafasir, inshallah, and more, inshallah. And I'll be releasing a series, inshallah, in Ramadan for Quran in Motion. I've been literally traveling all over the world doing recitations like this with different shuyukh. I'm going to get Sheikh Ra'ad also to represent Houston. But that will be released in Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala, as well.
Can I say something very fast?
Yes, tafadhal.
Brothers and sisters, now, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I'm in my process to start my thesis in my PhD, and it is about toward having a tafseer to understand and to memorize the Quran for the non-Arab speakers.
Allahu Akbar.
So I just want, I really appreciate that we will have a survey, inshallah Azza wa Jal, online survey, inshallah. You will know about it, through Dr. Arsalan, and also our website, if you see our website. I just need from you to answer these questions, inshallah, because this survey will help me a lot, inshallah, to define what exactly we need to do in regard this tafsir, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallah.
Amin.